Yo my guys, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. We're back in the stew for another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make fire guitar beats for a Boogie Wit Da Hoodie all from scratch. We're going to go into detail with the guitar melodies, some fire texture, vocal, ambient melodies, among some other stuff you can do with the audio. We're going to go over the drums, and finally we're going to go over some structuring tips to make the beat seem a little bit less mundane. But yeah, that is pretty much what we're getting into in the video. If you're new, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date with all the producer content I post here weekly. Also, I just want to say I appreciate the response on the most recent video I dropped. I think we've done like 3,000 views in about 4 days. If you're new, obviously, you may not be aware, I actually have some free resources for producers. Make sure you check them at the link in the description. And I also just wanted to make you guys aware before we jump into the video, there's actually a sale on my site since I launched it, and it ends on the 14th of Jan. So you've got a few days left and you can save up to 50% off all my premium kits that I use in my videos, such as the Fusion Hi-Hat MIDI kit with 100 hi-hat midis, amongst many other kits and collections. So if you want to check that out after this video, make sure you check the link in the description and use the code NEW50. But yeah, with that being said, let's jump into this one. Alright guys, so we are going to be breaking down the guitar that you heard at the start of the video here. So what I'm going to do, show you the preset here. So we're in the acoustic guitar in Ilya FMov. If you guys need a free plugin, you can actually use a plugin called a vinyl guitar, and it looks like this. It's got some different parameters you can experiment with. So if you haven't got contact banks or anything like that, make sure you check out vinyl guitar. So I'm going to show you this melody here in Contact and then show you how you make something similar. So alright, so this is the guitar melody and I'm going to show you what it sounds like now. So I'm going to show you how you can kind of go about doing that. It may seem complicated, but I'm going to show you sort of the basics of how you can make your own. So here I'm in another Contact and I'm going to show you how you can do it here. So basically how I start these is with the bass note. So like that every bar. So if you guys aren't aware, we're working in the D sharp minor scale. This is quite a popular scale for guitar beats. So we go from here with the bass notes. We literally make a triad chord. So we're going to go up to the third note in the scale, and then we're going to go up to the fifth note of the scale here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push these up, this one up an octave like this, So we're already getting that vibe. So I'm going to keep that chord there like that, and we're going to take this fifth note, I'm going to put it up, and then what I'm going to do is basically swap this. So we're going to start up there, put this one down here. So yeah, we've already getting that sort of vibe. So then see how easy it kind of is. So once you kind of start to find where they need to be placed, so typically with these notes you want to place them a half beat apart and have the bass note run throughout and these notes also run throughout, and then cut them off at the end of the bar. So in this instance, what I did for the next one is I actually kept the chord the same, but I just changed this note here like I showed you with the bass note. And then for the other two I just did something a little different. So what I did was I basically went here with the A sharp one, and what I did was I brought it down through the scale. So we know that this is basically on the fifth note, and it's going to be going down 5 steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these notes are all in the scale because it's part of the circle of fifths, which is just basically when you play a triad chord on the root and play a triad chord on the fifth of that scale, the shape is the same basically. So then I basically copied that and moved that here for the part with the B, and then what I did was I just changed the note up a semitone here, and then change the note up a semitone or a whole tone here, and you'll get something like this. And then all you have to do really to get that feel where it's like going a little bit faster is basically just you're duplicating this initial pattern like this. So you have, and then if you want to add a bit more of a realistic feel, we can just take the note below that. So we can take this G sharp here, make it really short, just stack that over a tiny bit like this, and then just basically have this one ring out. So that's how you're going to add those realistic effects to it. And then what can do here is just start to add the chops. And we're already starting to get more of that sort of natural flamenco-y feel that you can add to it as well. You kind of get the point, so you just kind of experiment with it and just affect the velocity. So that gives you like a sort of a similar example there. So after we got that guitar in, like this, we then kind of drew for a different instrument, like a choir. So what I've sort of done here is I've used Nexus, but 2 different individual presets. So I'm going to show you the 2 presets. We've got preset 1, and they're all playing the same notes. Preset 1 is just human choir, and then the second preset that we use is this one, which is gospel females. Okay, so the notes we're using for these are just here. So I'm going to just show you what it sounds like and the difference between the 2, and then played in context with the guitar. A slight difference in the sounds, but it's just good because it gives a really similar feel, but it just has a slight difference to it. So in context with the guitars, we have something that sounds like this. Okay, so that's pretty much the melodies for this section, and I also added a little vocal phrase here. This is just from Splice. This is what is called D-Baz Bad Boy Run in G minor at 88 BPM. So obviously I've time stretched that because it's at 136, and it sounds like this. And I just put a few effects on that as well. Animatic, which is going to just basically pan as it's played. Reverb here, and we're just taking a lot of the dry out of it to make it seem really kind of far away and not prominent in the mix. We've got a kind of like I think it's the old phone or radio preset here on parametric EQ, and a little bit of overdrive just to bring back a few frequencies that we've kind of EQ'd and reverbed up. So that's what I sort of did there, and that sounds like this. It's just a really nice texture. So next up, we've got one sort of last melody here that we added on top of the guitar. So I'm going to sort of show you how we came up with that. So this is the octave preset I've got here. So yeah, we're using octave here. I've got the 90 flute whistle here, and I think it's important to just show you we've got some effects on as well. Reverb. I got a flange just like this, which is one of the presets, and a space light also by Cymatics there. And this is kind of how it's sounding. So in context with the guitar. So after that, I've rendered out a separate version of that right here. And what I've done, this is the last part I've done for the melody here. What we've done is we've basically made this version unique, and I've reversed it. And then I've literally, after I've reversed it, I've chopped each individual one in bars, and I've had to rearrange it because initially this one here, obviously it was reversed, was here. So to get it in the right chronological order, to play the reverses at the same time as which the original notes would play, we have to do that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything kind of broke down. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some drums to this. Yeah, first thing I want to do is get a kind of clap in. So I'm going to use advanced looping just to save some time there, and you can just set this to every bar like this. And I think also I just want to turn down this sample. So I'm just going to make sure that's sent to a mixed track, Control R, and just turn it down a little bit. And then I can just use my preset. And then I think I also want to go in there and add another rim to every other, I think, like this. Adds a bit more of a bounce that way, and I might actually add an extra So I'm going to add this little texture hat I like to use from the Colors drum kit called the Source Open Hat here. So I'm just going to take some of the out up here. I'm going to just make sure we got it on stretch. Perfect. I think we're going to go into the hi-hats, keep them relatively simple, just with a two-step. Control A here just to select them all, Alt R on that. That's going to just randomize the velocities nicely. And we can just leave that on here like this, and we can just make sure it's looping here. So if we go to the next bar, already kind of getting that vibe. I'm just going to clone that. This is just something I've done ever since I kind of brought out the Fusion hi-hat MIDI kit. I like to use it for some alternative ideas, maybe for the verse when there's less going on, or when there's not an 808 in or something like that. So I'm going to go into the kit. We've also got with that kit a load of closed and open hi-hats as well. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to use the Eagle hi-hat and see how that sounds. So I really like that. But firstly, I just want to kind of make the velocities a bit less uniform. So there we just affected the pitch as well on the randomized wheel to just kind of make the hi-hat seem like they're slithering about a little bit more and kind of just doing a little bit more. So now that's done, I'm just going to pretty much go in here and add a couple of little snare rolls just here and there, nothing too crazy. Maybe just at the end of the 8-bar section here. Oh, I like that. And I think what we could actually do here is elongate these ones out like this. Well, that's nice, and then even shorten them more here by just using Alt and just touching this arrow. Perfect. Just randomize the velocities a little bit there. I think now it's time to add like a really heavy 808, so I'm going to be using the Blam 808 from the Phantom drum kit here. We want this 808 to just be really nice and loud, so you don't even feel the need for a kick, just really kind of shaking that low end to low mids. And let's go to B. Yeah, I prefer this 808 here, got the Producer Grind one. Here, just quickly, I'm going to take the 808 out of this part here on start. So I've cloned that channel, and all I actually have to do is just cut the 808 like that. It's that simple. So this is looking nice. It's a decent size, decent structure that we could use. So then from there, I just want to show you like a couple of little things you could do. Like for example, you can cut off the end of this part of the sample of the pattern, sorry, for the drums, for example. So if you just wanted to make it drop a little bit harder here. Really simple, great tip there. And then one more, you can just basically make the whole thing sound like it's underwater. So yeah, we're gonna go into a love filter here and basically immerse it and make it sound like it's underwater for 4 bars at the end of this sort of section. So simple triangle past LFO, get the XY where you like it. Probably just create an automation clip by right clicking on the dry wet knob. There we have the love filter here. So we're going to just have that love filter on, like I said, the last 4 bars of this section here, like this. And then I've actually also just developed a simple outro that I'm going to show you guys now. So with this simple outro, we basically just pitched down the audio file, which I'll show you right here. So we took the contact guitar and I just pitched it down 1200, and that gives us a nice sort of outro sound like this. Here also we're going to just take the EQ off there. So for the outro we want to automate the EQ off as well, like this. So now we can kind of get a really nice full feeling. So if you guys want to know how I created that, I really didn't use a lot of new stuff. I was pretty resourceful. What I did, for example, in that Nexus choir I showed you, I just basically took it and I put 3 octaves of the same note on it with the human choir. So that's what I did for that. As you can see, look, we've got the same notes. I've just literally duplicated them up octaves, 3 octaves to make it seem bigger. And then I've added a synth bass, which you can just see here. We're just using our octave slide at the end of the sort of 2 bars the note's playing. And then we've got a piano layered on top of that as well, using Spitfire Labs soft piano here. And all we're doing is just going up and down the scale here. Nothing crazy, nothing technical. So just to show you the reverb sort of setting on that, this is the setting I had here. Had quite a lot of wet there, low cut pretty high, but really high decay as well, and sort of medium to high wet to give it that sort of echo in the higher end. So yeah, that is pretty much the full video. So that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave us a thumbs up, subscribe, give us a comment on some ideas for a video in the future or what you thought of this one. That's pretty much me for today. Don't forget, obviously, we got the new 50 coupon code at the site, at the link in the description on my official store. 3 days left on that, so make sure you go and snag yourself a bargain. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll play a little preview of the beat now.